Hi everyone, welcome to Elemental Flows. My name is Christina and thank you for joining me in today's practice. Today I have another quick stretch for you prepared. So this one won't necessarily be too long, but it will be a great one to do if you're looking to just open up the different areas of the body. So let's get right into it. We're going to start in a child's pose. So you could take either a closed-legged version with the knees together or take the knees apart. The big toes are together and we'll just walk the hands forward and rest the forehead on the mat. And let's take a couple of deep breaths here to settle into our practice. So on an inhale, breathe in through the nostrils and exhale out through the mouth. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale through the nose, allow the air to fill up your entire body. And exhale out through the mouth. Do one more at your own pace. And exhale. Let's walk our hands over to the left side so that it comes off of the mat. Our forehead still rests on the ground. And you should feel this stretch on the right side body. And while we're here, I want you to think about sinking into the floor beneath you and allowing the mat to hold the full weight of you. Now let's take the hands, walk them over to the right side again off the mat so that they're on a 45-degree angle. And allow any tension in your body that you're noticing to release. Try to breathe into those spaces to release the tension. Let's walk the hands back to center. Then we're going to walk the hands towards us so that we could come up into our knees. And if your knees are a bit sensitive, you could come into just a regular seated position here. We're just going to open up the neck. So we'll start by dropping the chin down to the chest. Notice how this stretch feels in your body. And then let's take the left ear over to the left shoulder. Drop the chin back down to the chest. And now let's take the right ear over to the right shoulder. Let's drop the chin back down to the chest, and we'll repeat this a few more times. So take the left ear over to the left shoulder, and then drop the chin. Take the right ear over to the right. And do a couple more of these, following your own breath and your own pacing. But as you're doing it, allow your neck to release. So again, try to relax any tension that you may be holding. And just notice what this movement is doing for your body. Now the next time that your chin is down to your chest, hold it there. And we're going to take our hands, place it on the back of our head, and just gently push the head down so that the chin comes closer towards the chest. Good, and let's lift the head back up. Let's take the hands, interlace the fingers behind you, and then we're going to press down the hands towards the mat as we open up the chest and lift the chin to the sky. Let's release the hands. We round the spine here as we take our arms out in front of us, and then drop the hands down to your thighs. Now we'll do a couple of side stretches here. So first we'll go to the left side. Let's bring the left hand down beside you. We take the right arm up and then bring that right arm over to the left side. Now come back up. We're going to twist now to the left, and then we drop that right hand on the outside of the left thigh, the left hand comes behind you and you try to look towards the back. And we're still opening up our bodies here, so try not to force yourself to turn all the way around. Meet your body where it's at right now, and just try to gently push it a little bit further. And let's release, come back to neutral. We'll repeat on the other side. So take the right hand down beside you. We extend the left arm out to the side and then bring it over to the right. While we're here, think about opening up the chest to the ceiling. And then lift yourself back up. We turn towards the right and then drop that left hand down on the outside edge of the right thigh. Take the right hand behind you and twist. Good. Now release. We're going to come up to a neutral tabletop position now. So make sure that your shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, and we'll start with a couple of cat and cows. So on an inhale, let's arch the spine as we lift the chin up to the sky. Open up the chest here. And on an exhale, we round the spine, tuck the chin into the chest. Inhale, let's repeat that again. Look up, arch the spine. Exhale, we round the spine, tuck the chin into the chest. One more. Inhale, we arch. Exhale, we round. Come into a neutral tabletop position now. And let's just do some circles going in one direction with our spine. So we round and then arch the spine as we move towards one direction and make some circles with our spine. And then once you've done a few on one side, reverse the directions and go the other way. Good, and come back to neutral. Let's walk our hands forward to come into a puppy pose. So our forehead rests on the mat. And let's just hold this position here. So our hips are still over our knees. Keep the core engaged so that you don't overarch the spine. And if you want to intensify this stretch, you can come up onto your fingertips here to open up in the shoulders a little bit more. Good, and drop the hands back down if you're on your fingertips. We're going to come onto our forearms. So drop the forearms onto the mat so that we can come into a lying down position. And let's place those forearms and elbows so that the elbows are directly underneath our shoulders, and we'll come into our Sphinx pose. So gaze is forward and we open up the chest. Now let's release the chest back down to the mat, press into the hands so that we can lift ourselves back up. We're going to tuck our toes to come into our first downward facing dog position. So since it's our first downward facing dog, do what you need here to open up your body. You can pedal the feet, twist the hips side to side. You can even do some rolls with the body, like going forward and back. Just notice where you may be holding any tension and try to move into those spaces to open them up a bit. When you're ready, come to find a neutral position. We're going to lift the left leg up into the sky. Then we'll bend the knee and bring it forward into the chest. Hold it here for a breath. And then let's drop that foot in between the hands. We're going to swing the arms forward and up to come into a low lunge. So drop the shoulders here so that they're away from the ears. And while we're here, we're thinking about sending our hips forward towards the top of the mat. Now let's drop the hands back down to the mat, and then we're going to send the hips backwards towards our heels. As we do so, we straighten that left leg and flex that left foot to come into a half split. So while we're here, we're thinking about elongating our spine, so try not to let it round. And chest is still lifted off of the thigh. Good, let's walk the hands forward. As we do so, we bend back into that left knee. And we swing the arms forward and up once again to come into a low lunge. Now from here, let's cactus the arms, so bend at the elbows as we open up and lift the chest towards the sky. Keep sending those hips forward towards the top of the mat. And then let's drop the hands towards the mat, press back into your half split. And you can use blocks to support you and place it underneath your hands here if you like. Let's walk the hands forward. Once again, come back into that low lunge. This time we're going to swing that left arm towards the top of the mat and then towards the back. Now you could stay here if you want to go a little bit further. Bend into that right knee so you can grab hold of the foot with your left hand. And while we're here, we're opening up the chest to the side. And if you have hold of your foot, think about pressing your foot into that left hand. Good. And release the foot if you had hold of it. Let's bring that left hand back towards the top of the mat. We send the hips backwards one more time to come back into our half split. Notice if you can go a little bit deeper into your half split this time. And we'll come forward one more time. Walk the hands forward, bend into that right knee, and we're going to come into a twist. So you could either keep your your right knee on the floor, or you could have it lifted. If you're lifting it, just tuck the toes to lift the knee, and then we're going to send that left arm into the sky. Good, now release the hand, bring the left hand back down on the inside of that left foot. We're going to walk that left foot to the outer edge of the mat to come into our lizard pose. So you can drop the back knee if you like here or keep it lifted. You could also go down to your forearms here if you like, or use a block to go down onto your forearms. Take whatever variation is speaking to you today. And then try to settle into the pose. From here, let's walk that left foot in just a little bit. We're going to tuck the back toes so that we can lift the right knee off of the mat if you had it drop to the ground. And then we're going to swivel our hips and turn so that our chest and hips face toward the long edge of the mat. We're coming into Skandasana. Make sure that the right foot is flexed here and we're twisting towards the ceiling. And you can use a block and place it underneath you if you want the additional support in this pose. And then from here, let's take our hands towards the center of the mat. We're going to come so that both of our toes face the long edge of the mat. On an inhale, we'll press into the hands to lift the spine. And then on an exhale, let's drop the crown of the head towards the mat. And you can take any variation with your hands here. So you could either keep your wrists aligned with your heels, or you could grab hold of your elbows to deepen the stretch here, or you can interlace the fingers behind you and press them towards the ceiling. Let's drop the hands towards the mat. Let's walk the hands towards the top of the mat. As we do so, we bend back into that left knee, press into the hands so we could send that left foot back to meet the right. And let's go through our vinyasa. You could come down to your knees. Let's bend at the elbows to lower ourselves down. Slide the chest forward and up to either come into cobra or upward facing dog. Relax the chest, release it back down, and then press back up into your downward facing dog. Check in with the breath. Make sure you didn't lose it. And we'll repeat that on the other side. This time, let's take the right foot up to the sky, bend it, send it forward, hold it into your chest for a breath before you place the foot down in between the hands. Let's drop that left knee now on the mat, and on an inhale, we'll swing the arms forward and up to come into our low lunge. Again, make sure you're lifting out through the crown of the head here. Our hips are being sent forward towards the top of the mat. Good, now drop the hands down to the mat. Let's walk the hands back. We send the hips towards the back as we straighten that right leg. Flex that right foot and remember to elongate your spine here. And think about bringing the crown of the head closer towards that right foot. Let's walk the hands forward once again. As we do so, we bend back into that right knee, swing the arms forward and up to come back into a low lunge. Think about sending those hips forward. And on an exhale, let's bend at the elbows to cactus the arms. To do so, we open up the chest, lift the chin to the sky. And let's drop the hands back down to the mat. As we do so, we send the hips towards the back of the mat and flex into that right foot once again with a straight right leg. Let's walk the hands forward once again, bend back into that right knee. And this time we'll take that right arm, send it towards the top of the mat and then towards the back. You can hold it here, or if you want to go a little bit further, bend the knee to grab hold of the foot and press that foot into the hand. While we're here, we're thinking about twisting and opening up our chest to the ceiling. Let's release the foot if you had hold of it. Bring that right hand towards the top of the mat. Send the hips towards the back to straighten the leg. Come back into your half split. And then let's walk the hands forward once again. Bend back into the right knee. Either leave the left knee lifted or lift the left knee. Everyone extends their right arm up to the sky for a twist. Drop that right hand on the inside of that right foot. And now we'll walk that right foot to the outer edge of the mat and take whatever variation of lizard that you want today. So again, you can drop your back knee or come down onto a block or onto your forearms. You can also add some movement here as I'm doing in my practice today. Good. And then from here, everyone lifts that back knee off of the mat. We walk in that right foot just a little bit so that we can turn our hips and chest towards the long edge of the mat to come into our Skandasana. So this time the left foot is flexed, toes are pointing up to the ceiling. Remember, you can use a block underneath you if you like, and we twist towards the sky. Now let's drop the hands, walk the hands into the middle of the mat, turn the toes so that both feet are facing the long edge of the mat. We're going to lift up, bring the arms up overhead, and we're going to turn the heels of our feet so that our toes are now facing 45 degrees or on a 45-degree angle and facing towards the corners of the mat. And then on an exhale, we'll bend at the elbows and knees to come into a goddess pose. Good. And release. Let's extend the legs, turn the heels out so the toes again are once again facing the long edge of the mat. Inhale, we lift up. Exhale, we bend or fold over so the crown of the head comes closer towards the mat. And again, take whatever variation you want of this fold. So feel or consider what feels best for you today and what feels good in your body. Good, and now drop the hands. Let's walk the hands towards the top of the mat. As we do so, we turn the toes of the right feet so that they face the top of the mat. Let's press into the hands so we can lift that foot, bring it towards the back, and let's go through one more vinyasa. Bend at the elbows to lower yourself down. Slide the chest forward and up for either upward facing dog or cobra. Release the chest back down and then press into the hands to send yourself back into a child's pose. Take a breath here. Notice the effects of this practice and how your body is feeling right now. And it's okay if it doesn't feel any different from when we began. Still see if you can find some gratitude for showing up for yourself today and coming to your mat. Good. Now you can stay here for a little bit longer if you like. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, just walk the hands close towards you and lift yourself back up. We'll take one final breath here on an inhale. Let's reach the arms up towards the sky. And on an exhale, press palms together. Bring the hands down through heart center. Thank you all for joining me in this practice. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it and that you feel a little bit better in your body and that it's a little bit more open. Let me know how this practice was for you, but otherwise, I hope to see you at the next one. Bye for now.